Hi there, I am Guray. So today I'm gonna talk about final assignment. In this assignment, I use a COVID API. In this project, it displayed the data, confirm confirm number, and that's covered or active uh, for the selected country and the selected dates. So this is a historical data that user can select the specific date for the specific country, and the data will be displayed on the table. And also user can search the country name instead of looking at this country on the picker view. For example, write Canada or Turkey, Brazil, Spain, German. We don't need to write country name fully, so we just uh, whenever it's match, it's select this country name, and then display the also the table will be refreshed and display the selected country data. And also user cannot go beyond this 2021 sorry 2022, because this is the time that COVID begins, and also user cannot go beyond this current date. So whenever he wants to save this selected country, user can also click on the save button. And so we have another page that is a favorites country list, and we just add a new country, which is Germany. So this table display our favorite countries and the population, and also when we select this country, it display the flag of this country and the date data that today's current day's data. And so we can see that, for example, today's in Germany 15% deaths, and so on. This is our total deaths and total active cases. And this is the today's data, today's cases, today's deaths, and today's recovered. So we can select this country. So and user can also, if user has many favorite country, user can also search in the search bar. For example, whenever he type something, so we don't have Canada, so we can add a Canada and I click on the save button, so we can go to the favorite page. So when we typed only the CA, and so it's selected Canada, and the flag of displayed, and the data is a current data. So this is how my app look likes. So first of all, we can look at the wave controller. So this the wave controller is our the main wave controller. So inside this Civ file, so we have some IB outlets. So first one is table outlets. It display the data of the selected country. Second one is picker view for the dates, and the last one is picker view. It has all countries, and then we have some array that type is country class. So we have two types. First one is results. Second one is the all country lists. It's we display this all country using with this variable in order picker view. So this function is for the search bar. Whenever user type something in this search bar, that this function will be called. And so first of all, we need a index number of this control list array. So the when user type something, it match this country name inside this array, and return this index number. So we check the index number if it is empty or nil, and the next thing is that we select this index number in our the country picker view, and then so we also get this country name assigned to this label. After that, we call this function that it's get this all data of the selected country. So, and this function number of section, number of rows in section. So, and the other function is that a table view. It's set the cell for the specific row. So we have two sections. The first section that we display this confirm and that's data. The other one is recovered or active data. So so this is for the header. So because of we have two section, we call this function for the set the header. And so picker view number of components, so number of rows in components, the count is returned the variable count, and as title for, so we display this country name inside this function. So we get this each country name and assign to the each row. And when user select this row in this picker, country picker, so first of all we need to get this ISO2 value and assign to our country name variable, and we again call this get information function. So this function set countries to set this all countries name in this picker view. So we this first of all this called network service. So we fetch this data from our API, and so set this in our picker view. So get information, this is the function that we get this data of the selected country and display it in our table. Again, this fetching processing is happen in our network service class. So we pass this country name, previous date, and the selected date. Because of this API does not accept the specific only the one date, we have to give the range. So for the selected date, I give the previous date and the selected date, and I only display the last one. So this function is get dates. It's because of I explain the reason of this. So I get this date whenever users select the date in our date picker view, and so I just get the previous date of the selected date and return this days in our string array. And date picker value change. So when user select this date in our date picker, so again it's get this current day and the previous day. So, and also we need to check user select the day which is that in the future, so we cannot send this data. So we just uh, again set this date picker view in the current day, and we get this index number. So we get this using with this index number, we get this ISO2 value from our control list array, and assigned to the country name. Again, we call this get information function. So this function is this save to favorite. This is the so this is whenever user click on the save button, this function will be called, and it's show the alerts that do you want to save this country. If user click on the save, so we just call our core data service and then insert this data in our core data. So we pass this country and the flag and the ISO2 and also the population of this country. So this is our wave controller, the main wave controller, and the second one is favorite control list wave controller. That also we have some IB outlets for the image view and the label that show the country name, and the control list table that it will display or the favorite control list country data table that it will display the current days data of the selected country, and these are the variable that it's called data of the country. And also another table variable that it will the table that we display this data. So again, we have a search bar that whenever user search something, the function will be called, and there's so we pass this search text, and it's return this instance of the country, and again after that, so we need to get this index number in our array. So we just get this index number using with this syntax, and when we found this index number, so we select this select this specific row, and so the data will be refresh and display this selected countries data. So this is our we set the row numbers in this function, and for this cell, so we have two sections. That's for section one, we display the today's we display the total cases, that's and the active cases, and the second in the second section that we display the today's cases, today's death, and the today's recovered data. And then for the cell 2, these are the second table that we display the country and the population. And so this is when user wants to delete the row. So this function will be called. I think I forgot to present the delete process. Whenever user swipe this row and click on the delete, it's asking the cancel or the delete. If you say that yes, it will be delayed. And this is also the permanent. So again, it's called as function that in our the core data servers. So number of section, again we set this section, and the header, these are the header for the each section, and then did select row add. So whenever users select any row, this method will be called. So we first of all we get this country name assigned to our variable. So we get this flag URL assigned to our again variable. Again we set this country name label. After that we call this function in our the network service. So we get this image and set this image view. And another network service function is that get today data for country, and then we pass the country name and it's returned this current day's data, and then we set this our table. So it was our we have controllers. So and we have a cells class that, so these are custom cells. So we need this we have cells CSV file, and then so for the models that we have country models. So because of we have so we have two country class, because we are using two different API. The first one is for the historical data, and the second one is only display the current day's data. So this is why we use a different similar to each other class. And then we have some service. First one is network service, and second one is core data service. Inside the network service, that the first function is that we get the historical data from our API. So we pass the country name and the previous date and the selected date, and it's returned this country to array. So this is our URL. We pass this country name, previous date, and the selected date. And so inside this one, so we just decode the JSON data in order to model, and we return this one, return this data. So another function is that gets the current data from the API. So we only pass this country name, and it's return the country tree type variable. So again, whenever, so we just decode this JSON data to the country tree model, and then return this data. So another function is that we get all countries from our API, so to display in our country picker view. So we get this, we don't pass anything, we just call this function to get all country's name, and return this one. The last one is that we download this image by URL. We pass this URL, and it's download this image and return this image. So it was our network service. Inside the core data service, so we make this data permanent. First one, this function will be called when we want to insert data in our core data. So we pass a country name, flag, ISO2 code, and the population. So we just set this data and save the context. Return this other function is that return the all data from the core data. So we fetch this data and then return it. Other one is that partial search. When we are doing a partial search, so this method will be called, and then we pass the string, and using with this syntax, whenever this string match the begin of this country name match with this or text, it's returned this specific uh, country instance. And the function will be called for the delete process. So we pass this instance of this country and then delete it. So it was our core data. So we explain the service, we explain the model, we explain the wave controllers, we explain the cell, and then so we explain this partial search, we explain this deletion, and uh, so this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Have a nice day.